G'day guys, Eddie here from Dilleen Property. Hope you're all well. Wanted to do a quick video today about two different things. So one is a stamp duty concession and the other one is a first home super saver scheme. So these two things I want to share a little bit about my experience with and just my thoughts and opinions with using these two things to get into the property market. And it could be to buy a first home to live in or to buy an investment property. For this video, we're going to be talking about mainly investing property purposes. So as an example, I've spoken to thousands of people over the years, and some people talk to me and say, Eddie, I really want to buy an investment property and build a portfolio like you've done, because I'm 27 right now and I've got 16 investment properties in my own portfolio. So they say to me that I want to get in the market and build my property portfolio, but I don't want to pay stamp duty. I want to use the concession. Like every single state in Australia is different as well. So you've got different things in place in every state. So like right now, New South Wales, up to, if you're buying a property to live in, there's different rules and regulations amongst it. But for New South Wales, up to 650,000 if you buy as a first home owner and you've never owned any properties before, you don't pay any stamp duty, and that's up to 650,000. So that can save you a lot of money. Same with the first home super saver scheme. It's basically a scheme that was put in place by like the government, you could say, to help people save for that first home property. So they are able to pay from their, in a nutshell, basically, there's a lot behind it, but they're able to, using the first home super saver scheme, if you Google it, you can actually pay pre-tax dollars. So before you get, so if you're on an income of $80,000 as an example, you're able to, or 50,000 or 100,000 or whatever it is, you're able to pay some of your tax dollars towards before you get paid tax, contribute that to your superannuation, and using that superannuation money, you're able to basically use that to put down as a deposit. So it's a way to not pay as much tax on the initial money that you're putting towards it and save money easier. So it's a super saver scheme, so you're able to save that deposit easier and easier. The only downfalls with, there's a few downfalls with both of them. There's pros and cons, of course. Doing something like this super saver scheme, you have to buy usually as a owner-occupier, same with the actual stamp duty concession. So, and also with other states as the stamp duty as well, like sometimes in different states it only applies to new build properties. So like different states, they're all different regulations, but these are two things I want to talk about today because from my experience, they hold people back, because there's so many different ways out there to save money by buying a property. And I bring it back to my personal experience. Looking back on it now, out of all the hundreds of properties that I bought, it's not, what I realize now, it's not about saving money, building a portfolio, right? Especially if you wanted to build a property portfolio. First of all, these are only for not investment, these are for owner occupiers. But if you're looking to get started and build that portfolio, most people have that idea of, I want to save money when I buy a property. Right now, and if I look back on my own experience, it's not about saving money when buying property. It's about making money when buying property. So as an example, say you buy a property and you have to buy it as an owner occupier. If you buy a property first as an owner-occupier, you're going to have an emotional attachment to it. So there's going to be a level of emotion, meaning you're going to have to, work out where you're going to buy, how you're going to buy. You're going to have a level of emotion because you're going to be living in it maybe for the first 6 to 12 months, or it might have to be where you physically want to live or close to work. So it's going to limit yourself basically. Whereas for me, it's more about numbers and trying to take the emotion out of it, especially building a long-term portfolio that's going to generate you an income over time. That's the ultimate goal that a lot of people have, is trying to build an income from their owning 5, 6, 7, 8, and 10 properties. I've spoken to people, like a couple of people I've spoken to over the last 2 years as an example. You know, we've sat down together, we've had strategy sessions, we've given them the guidance to go out there and find properties and build a portfolio 2-3 years ago, 4 years ago even, and they're too hung up on trying to save stamp duty or trying to save money by doing this first home super saver scheme, buying through their super, and then not knowing what to do, so they don't do anything. Like, they get stuck with analysis paralysis. And at the end of the day, you've got to jump in the property market and you've got to take action. So if I was starting again, I would not worry about any of these. If I was starting to build a portfolio again from scratch and really wanted to invest in property, because without investing in property, most likely you're going to be tied to a job for the next 60, 70 years until you're 70 years old, because unless you invest in your future, you cannot physically save enough money unless you're on, 500,000 a year, 600,000, $1 million wage, which is unlikely unless you're a business owner of something of that sort. Most people cannot save their way to retirement. So that's one thing. You're going to have to invest in property, real estate, stocks, or whatever it is to catch compound growth and leverage your money to get there, in a nutshell. So if I was starting again, would I worry about the first home super saver scheme? Absolutely not. I think it's absolutely stupid, especially if you're looking to build a portfolio. If you're looking to buy one property and live in it and forget about it and not invest in property, then maybe it's for you. But even then, it has regulations and pros and cons with it, every one of these. Saving on stamp duty concession is a whole nother thing. So you're going to limit yourself to what first property you buy. And yes, you might save $5,000. Let's be realistic. If you buy a property for $300,000, your stamp duty might be $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, depending on where it's at. But you might pay $50,000 too much for it, because you might bring emotion into it. You might have to buy in the wrong market that's not going to catch the growth. You might be buying in the wrong state that's not in the right place of the cycle. So for me, I would not be worried about the stamp duty I pay. I've paid stamp duty for every single property that I've ever bought in my life. I've paid stamp duty on them. Whether it's good to live in, to invest in, I would not be worried about this. From my mindset, my experience, it's more about making money and taking action by buying property that is below market value. It's got a good rental return and it's in a metro area that's going to grow in value. So I hope this video helps, and thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.